everyone, and welcome to Volume 2 of Voices from Emerging Lawyers. This is the Florida FAMU LawCast, and my name is Amber Kornreich, coming to you from Miami, Florida. Today, we have an exceptional group of young lawyers and a law student who are here to talk to us about their FFLA fellowships. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being with us. So, we'll start. If you could please introduce yourself and answer, where was your fellowship and when did you complete it? Alexis, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Alexis Fulton. I'm a current staff attorney with Legal Services of North Florida and a graduate clinical fellow with FSU Law's Elder Law Clinic. Um, my summer fellowship was in 2024 with Legal Services of North Florida, where I worked with our Victims' Rights Department as well as our Pro Bono Department.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Sims. I'm from Delray Beach, Florida, and I'm a current graduating 3L at FAMU Law, and my fellowship with FFLA was at Seminole County's Bar Association Legal Aid, and I worked in their housing unit as well as their family law unit.
And hi, everyone. My name is Christina Velazquez. I am now a staff attorney in the Family Law Department at Dade Legal Aid down in Miami-Dade County. And my fellowship was at Dade Legal Aid in the Family Law Department during my 2L summer.
Great. Well, congratulations to you all on this incredible accomplishment. So, what the viewers want to know is, what was your favorite experience with your fellowship?
So, as a summer fellow, I was a certified legal intern, and that meant I got to represent clients that I'd been working with all summer in domestic violence injunctions. So, my favorite memory was when the judge would order those protective orders and the immediate sense of relief that came to my clients when those orders were issued.
I think my favorite experience from my fellowship was getting to actually go and observe the trials that were happening. I got to sit in on depositions and client meetings, and the few that I did see that went to trial, it was really interesting seeing it all come together and seeing the work that I did with my supervising attorney actually be put on the record and argued in front of the judge.
And for me, I think it was the opportunity to get hands-on experience and really feel like a lawyer. You spend a lot of law school going through classes and everything else, but it was the first time that I really got to be at the forefront of the work that my host site was doing. So I was doing intakes, I was, drafting things that were going to be in front of the court. So it was a really unique and I don't know, fulfilling opportunity to be able to get that hands-on experience that I still, have in my practice right now.
So, it sounds like these experiences were really meaningful. So, why should others apply for the fellowship?
So I think anybody who's looking to go into public interest law should pursue this fellowship. Kind of like Christina mentioned, it's the best opportunity to get on the ground work with mentors and attorneys who've been doing this work and within this field with this clientele and really get that level of experience. Um, I think it's a great opportunity to work directly with clients. A lot of law students don't have that opportunity until they're in these positions where you're actually able to meet with clients, do the intake calls, go to court with them. And you can also build a professional network. I met Christina through this fellowship about 2 years ago, and it's really cool now to be like, I have a friend on the other side of Florida who's doing amazing work. And just practically, it was my first experience working on a grant, which is super invaluable when it comes to legal aid work. So much of our work is funded through grants. So to have that experience of following through and reporting and meeting those requirements has served me extremely well as a staff attorney now.
Others should really apply, kind of piggybacking off what Alexis said, is it's a great way for law students to get their foot in the door with public interest. When I began law school, I didn't have any legal experience. And when I finally realized I wanted to do public interest work, it was a little too late as my 1L summer was already starting. And I was very grateful to get this opportunity because like I said, I got to build a network and seeing not only just family law, which I was primarily interested in, but seeing all the different routes and avenues that exist when working at legal aid firms and working in public interest. And now that I'm about to leave law school, I remember getting, I think it was an email from Jessica about the application for this cycle opening up. And I was emailing everyone I knew. I told the career services department because I was the only one from my school who got this opportunity. And I want to help encourage other people, not only at my law school, but just across the state. Like, this is an amazing opportunity to work with FFLA, but wherever your site ends up being, and building that network and kind of getting your foot into the door ahead of everyone else when it comes to working in public interest and legal aid.
I think Alexis and Aaliyah touched on, the main reasons. 100%, it's the connections that you build. Like Alexis said, I met her and I met so many other law students at the time and now attorneys that you have that connection with. And it just makes being able to connect and network when you go to events and everything like that much easier because you already have a friendly face who was in the same position as you. But overall, I think it really comes down to the experience that you get. Working for a legal aid, no matter in what area of law, is always going to be more hands-on, more centered around all these different skills that you can carry with you into other areas of practice, or even if you go into private practice instead. So I just think there's really no better opportunity than that. And then to have the ability to fund that experience is really unique and really hard to come across as a public interest student. You're always fighting for ways to find funding and to make this, an accessible career path. And that's exactly what the fellowship does. So it's bringing in students that not only are passionate, but may not otherwise have had the opportunity to do this type of work. And so it's really just improving, the practice and welcoming more people into seeing public interest as like a viable career path.
Such inspirational responses. Well, so we're down to our final question now. Why is pro bono important for young lawyers and/or law students?
So I personally believe that a legal education is a huge privilege that not a lot of people have the opportunity to come across and have that experience. So getting to work on behalf of an indigent client who otherwise wouldn't have access to an attorney is some of the most impactful work we can do as young attorneys and law students. It's very empowering to see how what the education you have and what experience you do have can make a really personal impact on your clients that you're serving. In these pro bono cases, you get to take them on regardless of an individual's ability to pay. So it's purely for securing them safety from an abuser, keeping them housed, getting more parenting time with their children is just really empowering, I think, for young attorneys and law students especially.
I think piggying off what Alexis said, that, having a legal education is such a privilege for anyone, regardless of your background. But I think the core of being an attorney, especially like a young attorney or a law student like myself who's making that transition, it's important to remember why you are an attorney, and the purpose behind any lawyer or attorney is you need to be an advocate for people, and especially those who are indigent and don't have access to any sort of like legal resources or recourse, or just the judicial system in itself. Doing pro bono work is a guaranteed way for people to kind of reaffirm their commitment to this profession and helping people regardless of, their race, their income, or anything that acts as a barrier for them to reach any sort of legal resource, whether it just be reviewing, a lease agreement, or, getting a parenting plan established so you can have that time sharing with your child. And that's why pro bono work is so important, and that every young attorney and law student needs to remember the purpose of pro bono work and how it ultimately helps every person in our profession.
100%. I think the advocacy part, and when you get sworn in as an attorney, you make that promise to, to serve the underserved and to promote, justice within the legal system. And that should be enough of an incentive. But just to give another one, I think pro bono is the absolute best way for a law student or a young attorney to get hands-on experience and to kind of build those certain skills that you might not have the opportunity to. As we've kind of mentioned, law school doesn't always give those opportunities to law students to really build those skills and build that confidence in being a lawyer. And doing pro bono work, because of the demand, because of the need, you really get put into those situations and you get to learn from really experienced attorneys, whether in legal aid or the pro bono attorneys, and get that experience and build that comfort. So when you go into practice, you already, have a little bit under your belt, and it's going to push you forward. And I think as a young lawyer too, especially seeing folks who are in private practice, you might not also be getting that hands-on experience. You're doing, you're building your firm through supporting your supervising or your managing attorney, but taking on a pro bono case, you really get that ownership over something that feels like yours. And you're being able to, from start to finish, gain those skills that are only going to make you a better attorney, and hopefully inspire you to take on more pro bono cases, because it's the fun of lawyering. It's the fun of, helping people and everything else. So, not just what we promise to do in entering into this profession, but just the immense benefits you get from engaging in this type of work. That's just going to make you a better lawyer throughout your career.
Well, Alexis, Aaliyah, Christina, thank you so much for your pro bono service, for all you do to uplift others. It has truly been an honor to interview you all, and we can't wait to see the incredible things you'll continue to accomplish. Thank you so much.